Hi everybody, welcome back. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make some delicious pork chops in tomato gravy. If you have pork chops at home, then you probably have all the ingredients you're going to need because it's a very simple recipe. And you know I'm going to show you how to make it step by step. So let's get started. So the first thing I'm going to do is grind my spices. I have half a teaspoon of whole cumin and half a teaspoon of peppercorn. And I also have 2 large garlic cloves. Now you can use the regular store-bought if you'd rather do that, if you don't have a molcajete or you don't want to go this route. But this is what makes this dish delicious and authentic. So I'm going to grind it up really well. So now that I have my cumin and my peppercorn nice and ground, see, I'm going to add my garlic. I like to cut them up with a knife a little bit, makes it a little easier. So I'm done with the garlic. I'm gonna add about half a cup of water in here. You see how easy it is? Only takes about a minute. And I'm done with this. So now that I've set my spices to the side, I'm ready to fry my pork chops. Here they are. I'm gonna be using 4 of them. And these are about half of an inch thick. And these are bone-in pork chops. Now I'm gonna be using this skillet right here, and it's nice and hot. I'm gonna add 2.5 tablespoons of vegetable oil. And I'm gonna pepper and salt my pork chops, and the oil can get nice and hot while I do that. Now you wanna make sure that when you fry your pork chops that you do it nice and quick, because the longer they are in there, the tougher they get. So you wanna go in there nice and quick. So here's my pepper. Now I'm gonna add a little salt. I'm gonna flip them over, and I'm gonna do the same thing to the other side. So these are ready. Now I'm gonna put them into my skillet. It's nice and hot. Now I'm gonna give them 2 to 3 minutes on this side before I flip them over, uncovered. So it's been about 3 minutes. Now I'm gonna flip them over. Oh man, these are starting to smell delicious. So now I'm gonna give this side about 2 minutes, uncovered, because you don't wanna steam them. Now I'm gonna remove my pork chops, and I'm gonna put them into this bowl, and I'm gonna cover them up with aluminum foil to keep them nice and moist. I'm gonna cover them up and set them aside. I went ahead and removed the excess oil, and there's just a little bit in there, just enough for the onions. I have 1/3 of a small yellow onion, and I have 2 large green onions with the green parts and all. Not only does this give it good color, but the flavor together is delicious. And I love green onions and yellow onions together. So I'm gonna move it around like this for just about 30 seconds. Look at this. They're starting to get nice and translucent, and it's smelling beautiful in here. Now I'm gonna add my green bell peppers. I have a half of a small green bell pepper. Now you can use poblano peppers, Anaheim, you can use the orange bell pepper, the red one, or the yellow. Whichever you like, they're all delicious. I'm gonna put 1 Serrano pepper in here because my Ron loves that, but you can leave it out. And I'm just gonna move these around like this for another 30 seconds or so. Just let all these flavors come in together really nicely. Now I'm gonna add my flour. I have 1.5 tablespoons of all-purpose flour. Now this flour is what's gonna make that delicious gravy that we're all gonna love. I'm gonna move it around like this so it can get a little toasty. Now you wanna get rid of that raw flour flavor in here. See where the fond is starting to form at the bottom? That's where the flavor's at. So now that everything is nice and gold, I'm gonna add my tomatoes. I have 3 large Roma tomatoes, and I have them diced real nice and small. I'm gonna add half of a teaspoon of Mexican oregano and 1 small bay leaf. And I'm gonna add 1 1/4 cup of broth. This is my homemade chicken broth, and I keep it in the freezer. But I brought it out and I have it nice and hot and ready to go. Now, if you want a lot more gravy, you can add a little bit more of the broth, and that'll be just fine. I'm gonna add a little bit of salt. Now I'm gonna add everything from my molcajete in here. Oh, these spices right here. It's what's gonna make it so delicious. I'm gonna add a little bit of cilantro. Just a nice big pinch like this. I'm gonna mix it all in together. Now I'm gonna replace my lid and I'm gonna let it simmer for about 5 minutes. So it's been about 5 minutes at a low, medium, steady boil, and look at this. Let's take a look at this gravy. Oh my goodness. This would be a good time to taste it and adjust your salt. That's what I'm gonna do. Oh my gosh, it's just heavenly delicious. Now it's time to add my pork chops back in here, one at a time. And here's the last one. Oh, beautiful. Look at that. So now I'm gonna replace my lid and I'm gonna let it simmer just like that for 5 minutes. So I've got everything ready. I'm gonna be serving my pork chops with arroz blanco mexicano, but you can serve it with anything that you like refried beans or frijoles de la olla or mashed potatoes. Now my Ron loves these pork chops with mashed potatoes. They're just good with buttered noodles, anything. Now we're ready to serve. Let's put some of the gravy. Look at this. My Ron loves it with lots of gravy on top. Just beautiful. Now my arroz blanco mexicano. Oh, so good together. Look at this. Super tender. I'm having this with some of my corn tortillas. So good. So these are my delicious pork chops with tomato gravy. If you like my video, give me a thumbs up, send me a comment, and tell me what you think. And if you haven't subscribed, please do. Thank you.